Welcome back to the Volvo Ocean Race. It is day 17 of this marathon leg from Hong Kong all the way to Auckland. They're through the doldrums, they're on the final straight. However, there's still plenty of action to come. We're going to be talking with Team AkzoNobel today, skipper Simeon Tienpont. Also with Mafre at the back of the fleet. We're going to see how life is going on the red boat. But first, let's have a look at what is going on with the stealth mode and whether that allowed Team Brunel to catch up to the leaders. The red dot is the place that Team Brunel went into stealth mode, and you can see that they're sailing up closer to New Caledonia. They're sailing slower. Check out the difference here. 11 or 10 knots up for Team Brunel, 16, 17 for Sunghunkai Scallywag and AkzoNobel and Turn the Tide on Plastic down in the south. That little wiggle there in Team Brunel's track, well, that was the moment that they got the update on what everybody else was doing, and they have fallen in sync. Now, if we have a look at the route to come, you can see that this sort of high, let me just line that up here, this high pressure zone here, this anticyclone, is going to shift out towards the east. That's going to bring in this, this cold front that's going to sort of help push the boats all the way up to Cape Reinga, or North Cape of New Zealand. Now, if we look forward, we can see that there are a number of different strategies on how to get there. The leading boats are going to have to do this sort of loop-de-loop. In higher pressure, our routing software shows that Dongfeng Race Team and Mafre can sort of cut the corner, but really in a straight line all the way to Cape Reinga. Team Brunel appears to be really cutting the corner. Let's hear from the man himself, Bauer Becking, as to how their strategy is going to play out.
Well, all of us yesterday, it was quite obvious that we actually were falling off the pressure from the three leading boats. And of course you can keep following them, but then you just know you're going very far behind them. And as well, all the models what we had was actually just put the boat on the wind and sail a direct course towards North Cape of New Zealand. That's why we went in stealth mode, because we could just imagine that the guys ahead of us would still sail very fast. Of course you're always stressed out, because what do the other boats have? And you just know they had breeze, so they just keep sailing away. But fortunately for us, they kept really reaching. They actually they sailed the course of 190, so it's basically nearly perpendicular to the course where you want to go. So in that sense, we didn't lose any distance to the Mark II against these boats. So that was the lucky thing, and that was the good thing that we went in stealth, because if we wouldn't have gone in stealth, I'm 100% sure that these other boats would have sailed a way higher course, and then the loss would have been bigger.
Good news was that those guys were coming with us, and everybody had a big sigh of relief that, you know, maybe a good move here and we can make some gains.
At least the boats behind us weren't doing something different, and it meant that if we're all going the same sort of way. So there's a lot to go right yet before it all pieces together, so we'll just have to look at each forecast at a time, see how we go. Or back off, you know, to 60 true. Yeah. Only loses 4 minutes, but it actually loses a lot in the next day and a half, but you get it back in the end because when it goes live.
That stealth mode play brought them from 3rd to 2nd overall in the rankings. But that's Team Brunel. Now let's have a look 300 miles further down the track, where I spoke with Simeon Tienpont, skipper of Team AkzoNobel, and I asked him how happy he was with his position.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with the position we are. I mean, it also leaves us no other choice to be here because of the pressure. So even if we wanted to be more east than those other guys, there's absolutely at the moment no wind. So this is where the wind is, and this is our quickest way to Auckland basically, and we try to be east to consolidate as much as we can. So basically for us we have to dig a bit more south to go around the high pressure, and then hopefully we can in 20 hours or so make the left corner to Auckland, and but by the looks of it, it's going to be a slow last trip in, as the wind will the wind from the west will die off, and we'll get some new wind from the east.
And would you bet on yourself to win this leg?
Yeah, of course. It would be great to win the leg, but I'm not sure. It's still too early. Everything can change, and I mean, you would jinx yourself to say now that you're in that position. but we fight for it, and we fight for the last 2 weeks basically. So every single meter. But yeah, no, so I wouldn't bet anything on it yet.
And what would a leg win mean for the whole team of AkzoNobel?
Oh, it will be huge, you know. It will be a good comeback and a great motivation. Everyone's been working so unbelievable hard, and of course the Cape Town to Melbourne leg was a great disappointment, where it costed a lot of points. But yeah, we are on an improving line, and this would be a huge reward, and yeah, if that's possible, it would be great for the team and the short team and all the effort that has everyone put in.
And so talk me through Team Brunel and what you think of their stealth mode action.
Yeah, we were wondering what they were up to, and we asking ourselves that question when they went into stealth mode, what are the options? And or we thought they were damaged, something happened, or they would take a really extreme option, and we still haven't figured out. You know, for sure they lost a lot of miles, and it looks, by the looks of it now, when they appeared again, is they go on a direct route, and even there at the moment it's quite frustrating, because it's for us this is the only way to Auckland, but it could work out for those guys to make a huge catch up and even give us a difficult time in the end, and still be fighting.
All smiles on board Team AkzoNobel. However, just before I came on air, I checked in with Tamara Etchegoyen on board the mighty Maverick.
Well, now we are sailing with a really good breeze, 200 I think so, and we are so happy because all the fleet are getting closer, so we have more chance to fight for going up in the table. So now keep working and move forward.
Now, we've just had Team Brunel go into and then out of stealth mode. Is this one of the options that you're considering, particularly because you're so close to Dongfeng race team?
Yes, now we are, well, I think that we have been so close to the Dongfeng all the race, so all the leg. Now we have a little bit chance with Brunel, because they decide to sell a little bit up. So now we have to wait for the next schedule to know what happened, but yes, maybe it's possible for us.
Can you talk to us about whether you see any options remaining to sort of maybe get back into the lead, or at least beat the boats around you? It seems like there are two different ways to get to Auckland. You can go straight, like Brunel has been trying to do, or you can go all the way around the high pressure zone, like the leaders are trying to do. Can you talk us through what options remain for you?
Well, it's true that I think that the two boats that are now leading the fleet are a little bit not far away, but it's so complicated because we are doing the same ocean than then, and it's like doing a little bit run. And the only boat that now decide to go just straight out and upwind is Brunel, so it's our best choice to move a little bit forward. So we'll see what happens in the next days. Maybe we are going to be some kind of compression or something like that, but at the moment I think that the two boats that are leading, Asco and Scallywag, is a little bit far away.
And so narrowing down the miles to the finish in Auckland, after such a challenging leg, are you already thinking about diving into the Southern Ocean and the cold that is waiting for you there? Or do you still have nightmares after the hot of the doldrums?
It's a really good question. I think that in this long leg, you are, well, in myself, I'm thinking a lot of things, and also in the next leg, because for all of us, and for me, that is the first time that I ran the Cape Horizon. It's nice to come back to the Southern Ocean, but I know that it's gonna be hard because the cold is calling, no? So now I think that we have to enjoy a little bit this work condition and try to keep fighting for this leg, and then when we got home and rest a little bit, just start thinking about the next one.
Now you're talking about going home and resting up a little bit. Are there any crew changes forecasted for Team Mafre, or are you sticking with the same crew that you've gone all the way since leaving here in Alicante?
Well, you know that it's finally, I think that Mafrays keep going with the same crew. For sure, I'm gonna do the next leg, so just go home is like go mainline or something like that.
Excellent. Aside from fresh food and good coffee, what are you looking forward to in New Zealand?
Yeah. Well, I think that food, a shower, and a little bit rest, and this is a particular home for all of ocean sailors. I think so.
Exactly. Well, Auckland will put on a good show and will be putting on a very, very warm welcome for the Volvo Ocean Rate fleet. So you can look forward to that.
Thank you so much.
As the crow flies, only 890 miles remain between Songhunkai Scallywag, current race leader, and final destination, Auckland. However, don't be afraid that this is just going to turn into a procession all the way down the coast, because this is one leg, particularly from Cape Reinga all the way down to Auckland, that is known for close action and last-minute upsets. We scrolled back through the archive footage to bring this pearl for you.
By the middle of the leg, everything had changed. Swedish Match nosed ahead of Toshiba to lead the charge to Cape Reinga, while behind the northern boat suffered from a rogue wind shift and went careering all over the course. Worst hit was EF Language, which slipped to 8th. But taking a gutsy punt south, Kayard and his crew surged up to 5th and was catching up fast as the lead boats closed in on North New Zealand.
But we've made a nice comeback here, and we're in 5th, and we're 2 miles behind Chessie and 4 miles from Merritt, who's in 3rd. So we're looking forward to the 185-mile beat from North Cape down to Auckland. We feel pretty good about our boat speed on the wind, and the crew's psyched up to put in 110% all night long, and should be a nice little dogfight, precisely as predicted.
A dogfight duly ensued, sailing into a hole. Swedish Match stopped dead, and 4 boats passed her, among them Merritt Cup.
We're around the top of New Zealand now, and boy, it's been dramatic. We're now gone from 3rd place to 1st place, and Swedish Match that was leading has gone back to 5th place. We've got Chessie racing about 500 metres just here. We've got Toshiba about 3/4 of a mile just up there, then EF, and you can just see Swedish Match on the horizon. There was a big hole under Cape Reinga at the top of New Zealand, and we've, with Chessie, come inside it, saw what had happened to, unfortunately, the Swedish Match, and come inside it. Now it's a real drag race. Let's hope down the coast now we've got the wheels to hold these guys off. We don't know, but it's all guys on deck now, probably 16, 17 hours to the finish, and there could be another wind change, more than likely between here and the finish, but it's all on.
It certainly was. With less than 12 hours to the finish, only 3 miles split the 1st from 4th. EF Language was closing in fast, and its tactical prowess was threatening. Behind, Swedish Match was back in the game, 8 miles off Merritt and taking a flyer offshore. Silk Cut in 6th had pulled in 30 miles on the leader and was now 24 miles off the front and coming up with more wind. Beating down the coast, the fleet was once more tightly bunched, the race having effectively been restarted. There was everything to play for, and everyone, but everyone, was looking over their shoulder.
Great action there from the era of the Volvo 60s, but let's wind the clock back further to 1989-1990, the year that New Zealand totally dominated the Whitbread Round the World race. It was a battle royale between Steinlager 2 and Fisher and Peikel, and this was the battle that made me fall in love with ocean racing. Let's hear it from the man himself, Grant Dalton, who brings us his version of events. And don't worry, a little bit of a warning, there's some bad language coming up, but this was back in the day before sailors were media trained.
The public around here remember mainly about the 89-90 round the world race. They remember what happened about out here, about 20 miles away. We're very close to Steinlager. I'm talking 200 metres here, okay? And the boats are basically the same speed. We've duelled all night, we've been ahead, we've been behind. We got ahead and we blew a damn spinnaker that we didn't have a spare for, which was probably the main reason we lost the leg.
There was a southerly change came through, and we only just managed to get it ourselves, knowing that this change was coming. Dolts didn't have that information, and he wound up, sort of sailing with a chute straight into it.
They knew what was coming. Blakey called the dousing of the spinnaker right at the last minute and got a Genoa up, and away they went.
It's stooped in legend, but frankly the legend's absolute bullshit, so I'll tell you the truth. As we turned to squirt down to hoist the headsail, we broached. It happens. So the boat lay over, the spinnaker blew out, went in the water, and blah, blah. But the legend is that they saw it and we did, and we're complete pack of wankers and they're really clever. Well, it's absolute crap. But the legend still lives.
Well, spicy stuff there from Grant Dalton. We're going to try and get him on the show on Tuesday to give us his perspective on the Volvo Ocean race as they fire down the last miles on their way to Auckland. That's all from us today. We'll be back again tomorrow.